What's up, guys? It's Sam and Colby.
Today we're going to be reacting to even more of the scariest unsolved murders. Let's get it.
The Bloody Benders.
The Bloody Benders were a family of serial killers who operated an inn and general store in Kansas during the 1870s. John Bender and his wife, Elvira Bender, along with their adult children, would lure travelers into their inn and murder them for their valuables. Family's crimes went undetected until their sudden disappearance in 1873, when authorities found evidence of their heinous acts.
Dude, a whole family?
Imagine your mom and dad are just like, you guys ready to kill?
Your Christmas tradition is not like, hey, let's sing Christmas carols or eat honey ham. It's like, let's lure people in together as a family and kill them for their valuables.
And I think this was only able to happen during the time frame of the 1800s and in Kansas.
A lot of murderers come from Kansas and they get away with it.
Everything.
To this day.
There could be anything under this house, guys. What?
Who was watching them?
On March 31st at the Hinterkaifeck farmstead in Germany.
Can you say that?
Hinterkaifeck.
That's actually pretty good. Are you German or something?
I am.
Yeah, okay.
And Czechoslovakia.
6 members of the Gruber family were brutally murdered. 4 of the family members were discovered stacked in the barn. All were struck down with a mattox, a type of pickaxe. In the days leading up to the murder, the family reported strange occurrences on the farm. They found footprints in the snow leading up to the house, but not returning. Weeks earlier, the previous maid had quit because she heard strange noises and footsteps coming from the attic and was scared the house was haunted. When investigators arrived at the crime scene, they discovered that the killer spent prolonged time at the scene, living amongst the victims' bodies for days. No suspect or motive was ever found.
Whoa!
Oh my God.
So he was living in the attic, and then he ended up murdering them, and then just like was living with the dead bodies?
Oh God!
That kind of reminds me of our investigation at the Villisca Axe murder house, because I think the killer was staying in the attic. And then after he murdered him, he didn't leave instantly. He was like hanging around.
Or what if it was the maid? The maid thought it was haunted, she went crazy, and then she murdered her family. This is why we say humans are scarier than ghosts. A ghost is not gonna take a pickaxe and just thump you in the head. But a human might. Did that hurt?
Yeah.
America's most prolific female serial killer.
Belle Gunness allegedly lured at least 20 men to her farm using newspaper ads.
Newspaper ads?
They were never heard from again. One night, her home caught on fire and burned to the ground. The body of a headless woman was recovered, but many believe the body was not Belle's, and that she in fact got away with murder. One particularly gruesome case was that of her second husband, whose skull was crushed when a meat grinder fell on his head.
What?
Oh, a meat grinder falling off a shelf onto his head? Ugh.
What does a meat grinder look like?
I mean, have you ever grinded your meat?
Yes.
Just imagine that over and over and over again on someone's head. Actually, don't get it. Anyway, that's crazy that she lured people in through a newspaper ad.
And at the end there, it seems like her nickname was Hell's Princess.
And it sounds like she got away with all of her murders. So basically, she was smart.
Women are smart.
Where's the real Walter Collins?
In Los Angeles, 1928, 9-year-old Walter Collins vanished without a trace. The police couldn't find any evidence of what happened. Months later, a boy in Illinois claims to be Walter, but when he arrives in Los Angeles, Mrs. Collins knew the boy was not her son, but police refused to believe her.
So
She brought
scary.
dental records to prove it wasn't Walter. The police just had her committed to the psychiatric ward. Finally,
they didn't
the boy
believe her.
confessed he wasn't Walter, but a 12-year-old runaway from Iowa. Mrs. Collins sued the police department, but the real Walter Collins was never found.
What?
Who else in this world would know their son more than their own mother? Why did the police not believe the mom?
Why would a little kid be like, I'm that guy?
And how would he know about this missing child if he's just a random 12-year-old waltzing into Los Angeles?
There's a lot of questions I have. Who's the crazy one here? Little boy or mom?
They could both be crazy, and maybe there never was a Walter Collins.
Fuck,
That was so scary.
The missing spy.
In the winter of 1970, hikers in Isdalen Valley, Norway, found a woman's burned body. Dubbed the Isdal Woman, her belongings were stripped of identification. Suitcases contained wigs, clothing, coded notes, and currencies, but no clues to her identity. Decrypted codes linked her to hotels under aliases, hinting at espionage. Autopsy revealed she was alive while burning.
What? So they just found a burned body, and then everything on the body was just like different identities?
That's terrifying. You know those like games that have a bunch of clues and you have to solve the unsolved murder, like just a bunch of like files and codes and things like that?
Yes.
It literally looks like exactly that, and it's in real life. Imagine stumbling on a body in the mountains and being like, I have to solve this mystery.
That's crazy. Burned on a mountain too? Like, why?
Would you be a spy?
Yes.
For like who?
The feds.
After YouTube, guys, we are going to stop hunting ghosts and start hunting all the people that never subscribed to this YouTube channel. So if you don't want to be hunted down, subscribe right now.
That's a little scary.
Sorry, guys. Prime Minister or spy?
Not many can say their country's leader has disappeared. But on this day in 1967, Australian Prime Minister Harold Holt went for a swim, never to be seen again. Because his body was never found, and he was known to be a strong swimmer, questions surrounding his disappearance fueled conspiracy theories. One even suggesting that the PM was a Chinese spy. And to commemorate the Prime Minister who disappeared and is thought to have drowned, Australia named a pool after him.
Let's go!
Let's
At
go!
least you got a pool named after him.
That's sick. I hope when I die, someone names a pool after me.
I'll make sure that happens.
Just like a little kiddie pool in the backyard.
This is the Colby Brock pool.
Let's go!
Imagine having that much power and then just disappearing forever. Unless he actually did die, then it's not awesome. But if he just got away, just disappeared off the face of the planet, that's kind of sick.
Why would you want to get away though? I don't understand.
I mean, wouldn't you want to get away? 5 years from now, you're just like, I'm done. I never want to see Sam ever again. And you just disappear. And then you just change your face and like grow out your hair and dye it blonde.
And then just become you slowly, dude.
You just become me. I think that'd be sick.
It's just so fishy that he's a strong swimmer. Was he like, let me just go snorkel over here? And then just never came back?
He's like Dory, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. He's still swimming to this day.
The torso killer.
I'm very curious about this one.
The torso murderer claimed at least a dozen victims from 1934 to 1938. This was Cleveland's first serial killer. It even brought Elliot Ness to Cleveland, best known for taking down gangster Al Capone. For years, the killer taunted Ness, sending letters and postcards. The torso killer was never caught.
That's crazy.
That's so badass.
Yeah, taunting like, you're never gonna catch me, and he actually got away with it.
That's a flex.
My question is, why do you think he was called the torso killer? Do you think he only killed people in their torso? Or like, do you think he looked like Johnny Bravo and he had just this massive torso and his little legs?
That could be it.
I want to get to the bottom of that. That's more the mystery to me.
Witchcraft or foul play?
In 1972, a dog would unearth the decomposed forearm of 16-year-old Jeanette De Palma on top of a cliff in Springfield, New Jersey. At that cliff, there allegedly was a makeshift altar surrounded by occult symbols. Local rumors began to spread, pinning her demise to a satanic ritual. Tragically, a flood would occur soon after the crime, erasing key evidence and causing the case to go cold.
Imagine your dog Sparky is like playing in the backyard and then he comes back with a bone and you're like, oh Sparky, come here, come here. And you're like, oh God, Sparky, that's an arm.
This is really interesting because we do a lot of haunted places, as you may or may not know.
What do you live under a rock?
And they always talk about satanic rituals, but we never hear about the sacrifices. This is a legit sacrifice from a satanic ritual on a side of a cliff. That's terrifying.
That is so scary.
That could be us if we keep messing around.
But we play it.
We'd be playing.
Who put Bella in the Witch Elm? What is that?
What is a Witch Elm?
1943, a group of boys found a woman's skull in the hollow trunk of a witch elm. It was found that her hand had been separated from her body. Months later, the phrase, who put Lubella down the witch elm, was found handwritten on an abandoned building nearby. Later, more of this same graffiti was found written, who put Bella in the witch elm. Despite having a name, the police came no closer to identifying the body. But it appeared that someone out there knew something about the murder. Oddly enough, witchcraft was a theory because the hand was separated from the body. It's part of a ritual called Hand of Glory. Sadly enough, the identity of the graffiti writer and the woman was never discovered.
I still don't know what a witch elm is. A tree?
Or just maybe like an altar? Let's look it up. Witch elm definition. A European elm with large, rough leaves. Okay,
so
it
it's
is
a tree.
Yeah.
A girl was found in a tree and then just graffiti was like, who put it in the tree?
But the hand was taken off for another ritual. This is crazy, guys. We're actually looking at a lot of unsolved murder mysteries about satanic or witchcraft rituals. These are the type of things that make places haunted.
I just think it's still kind of badass or scary, depending how you think of it. That somebody does that and then they have to graffiti that they did that around the town just to make everybody more confused.
It's like, how are these people getting away with it? Do you think, hypothetically, if you were to do a satanic ritual that required you to murder someone, you could get away with it?
Easy.
Okay. The disappearance of the lighthouse keepers.
In 1900, 3 men lived alone on a small island off the coast of Scotland, tasked with maintaining the lighthouse. On December 26th, a ship with a replacement lighthouse keeper arrives. But when they dock at port, they find the island completely empty. The beds were unmade, meals left out untouched as if they left in a hurry. Most strange of all the clocks in the lighthouse had stopped. They found a journal of one of the keepers, which detailed a horrific storm at a magnitude never witnessed before. But according to records, no storms were reported in the area at that time.
What?
The bodies of the 3 men were never found.
Oh my god.
What?
Clocks were stopped. They saw maybe a phantom storm. Like, this sounds less like a murder or more like a haunting. They saw something or they went crazy on this island. Unless they were just like, this fucking sucks. I hate tending to the stupid lighthouse. Let's get on a boat and get out of here.
All 3 of them were missing. And no bodies were found too. That's insane.
Imagine you were the guy that was the next shift. I would be like, oh hell no, I'm not gonna be sitting at this lighthouse.
Yeah, fuck that shit, dude. I'm getting out of here.
Disappear. Guys, if you like that video, YouTube thinks you're gonna love this one next. See you then.